Well, welcome back to the newest episode of Recent Reels. Today we're talking about the new Dune movie. Yeah, Denis Villeneuve. I don't know. What do you guys think overall?
Yeah, I had no idea what Dune was about coming
Yeah.
into this. I knew it was like some sci-fi epic story. Pleasantly surprised, I will say. I enjoyed the movie. Kind of like towards the expectations of what I thought it'd be, but I'll open the floor because I wasn't like fully like absorbed like I see a lot of other people are on this movie. But
Yeah. I don't think it was for me personally.
Really?
I think for me, if it was, because I know it's a multiple part. I knew that going into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like if the first movie was like mainly just the politics, getting to know all the characters a little more, and then ending with the attack, I think that would have been a better first movie for me.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it felt like the movie was ending when Oscar Isaac's character died.
Yeah.
And they were just getting kicked out of the little
Right.
civilization area.
Right.
I was like, good. Like, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
bring this into part 2. And then the movie went on for another hour.
Yeah.
And that's where I loved the movie for the first hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last hour, it just felt tedious. It felt like it shouldn't have ended there, like you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
just didn't have the climactic like ending. that
Right.
It should have had.
Yeah.
The like, not to compare it to Lord of the Rings, but like, the Fellowship has
Dude.
that good solid ending where
Yeah.
okay, I'm ready for the next
Left
film.
off here, and we kind of
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
we're gonna pick
Right.
up next.
This one just felt kind of just like, all right, there's more to see.
We found a
Yeah.
midpoint somewhere in here, and we ended it there.
Yeah,
Right.
it wasn't
Yeah.
as exciting as I
Yeah.
thought it
Mhm.
would be,
Yeah.
especially for an ending. Did you guys watch it like in theaters?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it on my small laptop screen because I was sick.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I was like, I'll
as-
just watch it, when
Yeah.
I'm better. But no, I don't
Yeah.
think I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
Definitely,
agree.
I could see it not being as effective on a small screen because I really enjoyed it in the theater.
Yeah.
Just
I think
because
I did too.
it was like a sci-fi. All the visuals are stunning in this
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
All the like industrial
Yes.
space travel, all like the all the stuff they're doing, like harvesting the sand and the spice and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
great to watch, and it's probably way better in the theater. I would
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like knew. Yeah, like I knew this movie was gonna kind of be geared towards me because I was like, it was like sci-fi, space, medieval
Yeah.
fiefdoms and kingdoms
Mhm.
and stuff. And that's what like motivated me to read the book. And you're right, like the first half of the book is like largely exposition on
Right.
the political systems behind everything, all the houses, the
Right.
history between the houses, all that kind of thing, which we get a little bit. We get like enough of it, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have just used a little bit more in-depth
Right.
stuff on the characters because
Yeah.
some characters become like super important later in the second half of the book. And
Yeah.
Stuff, so
Which characters?
mostly like the Dukes, all the Dukes advisors, like
Okay.
Duncan Idaho and the Fear, Hawat, and like all the people he kind of like surrounded himself with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gurney's like a big part of it.
Gurney's Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah. He's
big
coming
time.
back because you didn't see him die.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Right.
god,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I was like,
Yeah.
is he dead?
Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
When they never went back there, I was like, okay, at least Gurney's still alive. I have something to look
Mhm.
forward to in the next movie. Because
Right.
Gurney was my favorite part.
Yeah,
He
and
was,
he becomes like, I don't know, he just shows up later
And
Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
and becomes
in the old
cool.
one. He's Patrick Stewart, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's total of a wild card that he's in the old one.
right, yeah,
Dang.
yeah. But I
In the
thought that was kinda
books,
funny.
isn't Paul? Isn't he like 15 in the books?
Yeah, he like
Yeah.
moves. Yeah, that's like when he moves to Arrakis. He's like 15.
I was
and then
wondering.
over the course, I think of like 3 years.
Because isn't
That's
the
the
old
book,
movie?
yeah.
Isn't he like old? Like the guy who plays
Yeah.
him? Isn't he like
Oh
He
old?
looked
yeah,
old.
Kyle MacLachlan or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
He's
what
like
I was.
20 to
He's like
30.
in his
so,
20s.
When I
yeah.
saw that
middle-aged,
he was
yeah.
playing, I was like, isn't he like 15? Because I mean, I only read listened to the first 4 hours of the
Yeah.
book, so I
Mm.
only know a little bit about some of the characters.
Mm.
But yeah,
The old movie, I will say, like I watched it after I watched the new one. It's pretty charming. I think it charmed me because I'd already seen the new one, and like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's strangely the new movie is almost verbatim. At least the first half is verbatim
Yeah.
of the old movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
From what I
really?
saw, there's like a little bit of like, it's obviously way more effective and stuff,
yeah.
but it's pretty close.
Narratively, yeah,
it's
it's
like the story of it is all
Really?
pretty
it
close.
follows. Yeah,
But they like kind of condensed it to that whole
To one
like
movie.
the whole book to that one movie, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's like the whole book. In
And
one
I
film.
could see the second half getting kind of cloudy, and
yeah,
a lot of shit in the old movie in the second half just
Mhm.
happened very quickly, and
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
so I could see splitting it.
that's what makes me more excited for the second half of this one, as opposed because it just ramps up more. Like Paul really starts moving towards things and but I think aesthetically and I don't know, I thought some of the action and all the visual stuff with the shields and stuff it's pretty cool. Like
compared to the old one, if you saw the old one, you would laugh out loud.
Yeah.
The shields are just you look like a Minecraft block.
Yeah.
It's just blocky rectangles on your body, and they're
they're
you don't even know, you can't even
sparring
see them
and jumping over. It just looks like boxes jumping over. It's just
Oh my
weird.
gosh.
It's goofy, but for the time, people are probably like, "Oh my!"
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's dated now, but
Yeah, no, I actually had problems with the shields. They just felt kind of convenient at times. Because I mean, the blades or whatever, that's how you pierce it. But it doesn't.
Slow blade.
Yeah, it's a slow.
yeah.
But when Momoa was going ham, he was just slicing and dicing, no
Yeah.
problem.
That did kind of bother me too.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, in the books, does it explain how the shields are actually operated, or
it's basically it's meant to the slow knife gets in because it reciprocates whatever force is being
Right.
put onto it. You know,
And,
so
and they showed that in the movie with
Yeah.
the hunter killer. Is that what it was? The little drone.
yeah,
Yeah, they showed that, and I was like, okay, that's what they described. But when they were
Mhm.
actually in combat, it just felt like the shields were kind of just
people were
Okay.
slicing and
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
It became more of an
Yeah, I get you.
afterthought,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
sucks, dude. Because in the book, spoilers, but there's there's a part where those big lasers, those big purple, they're called
Yeah.
laser guns.
That was
in the book.
fucking dope. That
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
where they're chasing the ship with it or whatever.
Yeah, and I love that. But in the book, they get to that part where Duncan Idaho's, they're in that ecological station and stuff.
Yeah.
And they cut through these doors with the laser guns.
Yeah.
And it hits. He places a shield, and it hits the shield. And what I love about the book is it goes in depth of political, even scientific stuff behind it, ecological stuff of the planets. But those lasers hit the shields, and they have basically a nuclear fusion reaction and just
Really?
fucking obliterate everything. So they stop using the laser guns later
because they don't
fear the
want
shields and
Right.
stuff. So we just they just
interesting.
didn't do enough for me that kind of. They didn't.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
There could have been sweet spots, They could have
Right.
just been a little more fan service, I guess.
think
but-
I
Right.
kind of get what you're saying, because the movie, while it's visually stunning, it did feel empty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There wasn't a lot of. I mean, obviously Timothy Chalamet is literally just stone faced the whole time.
my
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Which-
acting didn't.
You didn't like it?
I think he's good for the role. He's casted look wise. He's kind of who I picture Paul being, but his acting just didn't.
I like Chalamet. I thought he
Yeah,
did
me
good
too.
in it. He carried
Mhm.
it. But then it's mostly when there was good story to come along with. Because in the second half, I was like, what the fuck is this guy even doing?
Yeah.
That was my big beef. The first thing I told Sarah coming out, it's all their lines felt so robotic, and it just
Yeah.
felt like none of it was natural. But then I go and listen to people who are critiquing, and they're like, the lines were so organic. And I'm like, I disagree. I mean,
I kind of do too.
towards the
yeah.
end, especially when Chalamet was just kind of fucking obliterated by all the spice and having his little visions in his tent with his mom, and it's just kind of that went on. That felt like that went on for an hour.
Yeah.
That he was just
Yeah.
kind of tripping, but
Well, I just think on a filmmaking level, you can only have so many vision sequences
Yeah.
without it,
Mhm.
with it still being effective.
yeah,
I think the maximum is 3, honestly, because then after that, there's no point to keep flashing to the visions.
Right.
We already
Especially if
got
it's
all
the
the
same
information.
vision.
It's
That's
over
what
and
bothered
over,
me.
Nothing is
yeah.
getting added.
Yeah. In the book, he's having visions about. He's has visions almost all the time about just even immediate future stuff he can see and just play out in the situation he's in right now.
Yeah.
And they just kept going back to the Zendaya and
it's
the Freeman
almost hey, we
vision.
need to
Yeah.
have Zendaya in this movie, so
Yeah.
we need to figure out how to squeeze her in. Let's have her squint at
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
put her on a
Okay.
sand drift
Yeah.
and have
Get
her
a
look
fan
out.
blowing. No,
Yeah.
I was expecting her to be in it more because she was in
Yeah.
the press tour or whatever,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's her and Timothy, and I was like, she's there but
she
not
has
there.
3 lines.
Yeah.
A couple days of filming for her, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Easy work.
She probably had more time doing the press
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
on
filming.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone's like, "Well, she's gonna be bigger in the second movie." I was like, "I know,
Yeah.
but I watched.
Yeah,
the
right.
first movie's out now.
Yeah.
The second one's not coming out
They
until
didn't even-
2023 or whatever.
Yeah, they just
so-
announced it. They didn't even know it was going to be made.
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. See,
Kinda
that's what rubbed me the
ballsy.
wrong way. Everyone's
Yeah.
defending it because I would tell them I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, the second," I was like, "Okay," but when they made this, they didn't
Yeah.
even know the second movie's gonna be there.
That's- yeah, that is a big
Yeah.
problem for me too.
Yeah, like
because
a
it's like how
movie-
can you have
Yeah.
confidence in the movie? Like if
Exactly.
you don't
Yeah.
know.
Especially
already
it's
hesitant.
on HBO too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
like a movie should, for me, stand alone by itself, even
Yeah.
if it's like, you
Right.
know, a series
Yeah.
or
And
whatever.
And they said, which is like, yeah, they were obviously like waiting for the result on this one, any backlash, and now the second part's only in theaters, like they're not
Right.
putting
Yeah.
it on either. So
Good.
yeah, but
It's funny that standalone comment. I was listening to a different podcast and Edgar Wright was talking, and I really liked what he said. It's kind of along the same lines when he's like, yeah, you when people say, oh, you weren't around at that time, so you can't really relate to a movie that came out and its impact. It's like, no, every movie you go to, you should be able to be like, this is the first time I'm seeing this. I'm experiencing it right now, even if it
Yeah.
was back in the 80s or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
It has that impact still.
yeah, you
You
should be left
shouldn't-
with something.
Right.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to go in and be like, oh, I need this backstory.
Mhm.
Or I need more. It should stand by itself and
Yeah.
stuff. So I thought that was a
Yeah, that's
cool
a fair,
statement. But
definitely a fair point. Yeah.
I think honestly, like we were saying earlier, I said that you can either make this 1 3-hour movie and really like jam pack it full of the entire
Yeah.
story, or you make 2 2-hour movies.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
don't make a 2.5 hour and a 2.5. Like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
because I think this movie would have landed for maybe you, Patricia, or just more people, and for me,
Yeah.
if it just took an effective end. Like
Yeah.
that's all it really was for me.
and that's a
Yeah.
lot of the complaints I've been hearing. Is just that
Mhm.
it ends so abruptly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like, Denis Villeneuve, is it Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy.
Villeneuve.
See, for me, I compared it. I couldn't help but compare it to my favorite of his, which is Blade Runner 2049,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
like it has similarities, and like the pacing is like in Blade Runner
Yeah.
is just like a huge slow burn, but it's beautiful to look at. The sound is amazing, and
Mhm.
but the story was also captivating.
Right.
So
Right.
it made it feel like it wasn't a 2 hour and 40-minute movie,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that's what I think the problem is with this one. Like, I'm okay with a long movie, but it just felt like
Make it worth
two
the
different
time.
movies kind of jammed together and then cutting it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to-
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like you kind of mentioned the Lord of the Rings, and I almost think it could have benefited from being like 2 or 3 acts, even.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
going through the exposition of all the, all this background of this world,
Right.
then go into like the invasion of the Arrakan city, and Paul's like left out now.
Yeah.
and then go into like the rise of Paul. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it just could have been better organized. And
Like
Yeah.
that shot when him and his mother are looking out on the burning city. Like, I don't know, maybe you could have ended there.
Boom.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like them looking at Mount Doom or
You
whatever.
Feel
In
Yeah.
the
they
first
both
Lord of the
feel
Rings.
that the Oscar Isaac died.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
You're on your down note. Cut.
Yeah.
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 That could have been like the perfect stop, and then start with the sand people that you've been
Right.
waiting this
Right.
whole
Build
damn
up
movie to
in-
see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And
Join
it's like
us.
they ended with Zendaya was like, it's only the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm sorry, like, if you build up so many vision sequences to meet up with Zendaya and then fucking, like, when they actually get one moment after 2.5 hours to sit and talk,
Mhm.
and then he's like, I gotta tell you something. What?
Never
Oh,
mind.
nothing.
Never mind.
So
Maybe
annoying.
that's in the book and it's important, but as a filmmaking technique, that is totally
No.
bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it just is so, like, not satisfying to an
Mhm.
audience. But
Yeah, there's just certain emphasis put on certain things that I don't think played to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
story, to the
Yeah.
strength of the story.
Mhm.
Like,
that, well, it's like, I like Villeneuve's movies. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
But this one felt more like Arrival to me, if you guys have seen that one by him.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
I love that movie, but
Yeah.
it's like there's kind of like vision sequences in that
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
time's getting all messed up and stuff,
Right.
and it's very cold and like industrial still, kind of. So like this one felt like a lesser version of Arrival, kind of. It's
Right.
See, I
way
can
more
see that.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
and way
Mhm.
more worldly,
yeah,
but kind of just felt it's like a little cold. His filmmaking style just to me is like a little
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I feel that.
I could see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish I wanted to like it more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I just, when I checked the time actually after it was right before the attack, and I checked the time, I was like, holy shit, this movie still got an hour and a half left.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
okay. I
It
mean,
was
I'll
so
see what
long.
happens, but and then the attack happened. I was like, how can they drag this out? But they didn't. Like
Right.
most of that second part or third act or whatever it was,
Yeah,
they were just in a tent underground, and I was just kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah.
yeah. I just and like I feel like we were alluded to the whole sandworm riding thing
Mhm.
Yeah.
from from Liette Kynes, that the ecological woman. And like, why do we have to be like left with someone literally riding?
Yeah,
the same? You know,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like
When she pulled out the pickaxe, I'm like, oh hell
yeah,
yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah,
That seems to me like a really last ditch effort to like get something cool to like
Right.
show
Mhm.
people. The
Yeah.
next movie. Yeah.
Desert power.
yeah.
He's riding the worm. Holy fuck! It's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
It
It
is
was
cool,
very
yeah.
cool.
But I wanted her to ride it.
Right.
When she
Mm,
pulled out
yeah.
that pickaxe, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at
I was
this.
like, this is it. But it never came.
I will say it's really enticing, the story to me, how it's like ancient
Mhm.
sci-fi. It
Yeah.
almost feels like Roman ancient like civilization, but it's 10,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool sci-fi world that they
Yeah,
built.
man.
Yeah.
And
And I like sword play
yeah.
typically more than gunplay.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I was enjoying about it. But then I kind of got taken out of it with the shields and
Right.
being all kind of wonky. But
Yeah, there's I don't know. I could like go on and on just because like I know the
The
book itself.
backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the book is like any readers out there, I would highly recommend just reading the book because it blows both movies out of the water. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I actually want to read the rest of. There's like 6 that Frank Herbert has written,
Mhm.
and I want to read
6
the rest
books?
of them.
I thought his son wrote them because
Oh
he
my
died.
God.
He died after like the first 6,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
he
his
did?
son and like a friend of his or something like.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
picked
So
up the
Herbert actually
series.
wrote 6 of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the first
Okay.
6, and there's like 6 more. There's like 12 fucking Dune books.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
a pretty intricate world.
Yeah, it's got depth to it. I just was disappointed it didn't come. The depth didn't come out as
Yeah.
much in this movie.
And that's a hard thing too with like reading a book and then going like for me, The Shining is what really made me pissed off about
I
reading
just
a
watched
book.
it last
Yeah.
night for the
Really?
first time.
Because that's
Yeah.
my favorite book,
Mm.
and then I
Yeah,
watched the
yours-
movie and I do not like the movie, and I
Yeah.
haven't. I won't watch it again.
I feel like that's just most experiences.
Yeah.
There's so much more like intricate detail in your mind when you read the
Right.
book, and it's
Yeah.
like, it just can't be translated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever your imagination
Yeah.
builds up.
Right.
And like you're
Mhm.
saying, there's more like backstory and science and detail that they
Yeah.
would explain in the book
Yeah.
just because they can, but in the
Yeah.
movie they can't just like stop and
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's like that's what I mean. The Ben Gesserit, like the women, like his mom's part of the.
Yeah.
It's literally a religious like group that's existed for hundreds of years who
Mhm.
have like basically been interbreeding people and like setting up for like a messiah
Right.
Mhm.
to like turn Arrakis into a paradise.
Yeah.
that
Right.
kind of thing. So like there's like literally like levels between houses and history that have like just been established to get to the point where we are.
Right.
Right.
And we just didn't.
Yeah, that's
get
cool.
any of that,
Yeah.
I read
so.
something. I think that House Atreides is like one of Earth's longest descendants
Yeah.
in the book or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually from Earth.
It's like alluded to that Duke Leto is related to the Emperor, like loosely. So like he's like has
Oh.
like like
Hmm.
empiric like
Yeah.
high bloodline or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that
Most
kind
of the acting, I will say, was pretty good in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought Oscar Isaac was like a good
Oscar Isaac,
Duke.
like
Yeah.
the beard, dude.
Yeah.
That's a
Chef's
good look,
kiss,
dude.
man.
Rebecca Ferguson carried it with how
Mhm.
much crying she did on
Right?
the movie.
Dude, I will say she nailed like the motherly.
Yeah.
Because like
Mhm.
even the book, she's like just like the worrywart. Like
Yeah.
she's just like
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
worried about Paul and
Mhm.
like what if she's doing is wrong
Yeah.
and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Rebecca Ferguson slaps though.
She's
in
really
pretty
good.
much
She does, yeah.
everything.
I love her.
So,
And
yeah.
then is it Stellan Scars?
I did
Oh,
not recognize
that guy
him.
killed
Yeah.
it. In my opinion, he was my favorite.
Yeah.
part.
Crazy
Him and
design,
Gurney.
cool.
Dude, yeah.
In the old movie, it's pretty goofy looking.
Yeah.
In this one, they made him like ominous and scary.
Yeah,
He
and
just doesn't. He's like
gross.
fat and gross. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And yep. And
That's-
that's like that stuff. Like that stuff is true to the book too.
Yeah.
So like, that stuff made me happy.
That scene when he's eating and he's just smacking his lips together,
Yeah.
and I was just kind of like,
oh, yeah.
Dude.
nice.
I was
He's like always eating in
Yeah.
the book. Yeah.
He just like
Ugh.
lifts himself over to the dude and like over the table.
I really liked him, and I think him and Brolin were my favorites in the,
Yeah.
in the movie.
Colin was pretty good.
But
Not Jason Momoa.
I like Momoa actually.
He just
I
plays
was
the same
actually-
character
Yeah,
in
I was
every
gonna
movie.
say I was expecting more.
he can't help but smile
he
and
didn't have
everything
he
he does.
didn't have a beard in this one though.
He
dude.
didn't. He shaved it.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
He
Sa-
did look kind of
God
weird.
damn it.
Like
Just
different.
shaved it off and gave it
Yeah.
to Oscar Isaac.
Oh my
Right.
god, yeah.
They just traded beards.
Sarah looked at me and she's like, "He shouldn't shave his face."
No.
I
It
was
is a
like,
li- it's weird, but
it's off-putting. But
Yeah.
you know, he still smiles after everything he does. So it's kind
Right.
of just like, oh,
That's true.
that's Jason Momoa
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing Jason Momoa.
I do like his relationship with
Yeah.
Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was like set up pretty.
I
pretty
think
well.
he fit that character well.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I liked Paul's relationship with everybody but Oscar Isaac. I thought that
Oh, yeah.
one felt a little
Really?
cold
Yeah.
to me.
I liked that just
No.
because it's that cold father son.
I kind of feel in the book it's much warmer.
Really.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the Duke is very like conscious of being like the role model for Paul and like
Nice.
yeah,
Oh
like,
dang.
yeah.
Do you think he'll have like daddy issues in like the second movie or
It's
something?
possible.
I hope
yeah.
so.
He just goes on a
Yeah.
warpath or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Last thoughts on Dune?
I give it a 3.5 because
too.
it was aesthetically pleasing. I thought the sound
Yeah.
design was good.
Yeah.
There's some good
The
like,
screaming.
bagpipes and shit. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
One of the best sequences is when Timothy Chalamet puts his hand in the box. I
Yep.
think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just for him, that acting was pretty on point,
Right.
and like the sound design, and also like the practical industrial, like whatever, blah blah. It's like there's no effects in that scene, but all of it's done effectively to like what's going on and how much pain he's feeling. And
Yeah.
then Rebecca Ferguson's outside because she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, but at the same time, kind of empty and not great at the ending. So I get
Yeah.
3.5.
Yeah.
I landed on 3.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for everybody. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Like-
I'm able to like geek out on it, honestly, because I like the book as much.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I'd watch the second movie in like
I'd
5
watch
years.
it, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right. Give it some time.
And then they're gonna be like, actually, there's gonna be 4 more movies because there's
Yeah,
6
right.
books. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what
right.
the heck?
Shit. Franchises.
We're in for the long
I know.
haul.
But
But let us know your thoughts on Dune,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. I know there's some sci-fi nerds out there as well.
yeah,
so-
definitely. I mean, look at the ratings right now.
Right. Yeah.
It's the biggest day and date release, right?
Is it?
Dang.
Since
Uh, did it
on
beat
HBO
Venom?
too. Well, this is the biggest one that was released both in theaters and on HBO.
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
That's like mixed. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's definitely a good sign.
Yeah.
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 All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us in 2 years. This
Yeah.
one comes out.
Yeah, right?
See you in the next Dune.